So straight to business then. Will's with us today. Later today, what's arguably the world's most important auto show is getting underway, Will.
Yeah, that's right. This is a Detroit auto show, and more we're seeing the lines between car maker and tech firm blurred. That's going to be the theme once again this week. There will be 61 vehicles unveiled this week at the auto show. Attending the event this year are names like Google, Disney, Pixar, plus another 2,000 companies. But as in recent years, a focus is on the autonomous car. The cost of the necessary technology is falling, and next month Google will begin testing a fleet of minivans on public roads in California and Arizona. Now, 2016 was a banner year for auto sales in the U.S. For the second year in a row, the U.S. set an annual record with more than 17.5 million light vehicles sold, fueled largely by dealers offering big incentives.
And meanwhile, another car maker has been making headlines this weekend as well, planning to ramp up US production.
Yeah, that's right. On Sunday, Fiat Chrysler announced that it will invest $1 billion into two existing U.S. plants located in Michigan and Ohio. The carmaker says the investment will lead to 2,000 new jobs while expanding its sport, utility, and truck lineup. Executives say the decision was part of a plan that was laid out about 1 year ago and has nothing to do with Donald Trump's policies. Last week, the president-elect criticized General Motors and Toyota for manufacturing cars in Mexico and suggested imposing a 35% border tax.
And meanwhile, the man himself, Donald Trump, is saying he's already making good on his promise to bring American jobs back.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of questions about what his policies will be once he takes office after January 20th, whether his policies will lead to growth or disaster, from trade to infrastructure investment. Pierre Delarue has a story.
Waiting for jobs to come back to America. Donald Trump's supporters are ready to hold the president-elect accountable for his campaign promises.
Do your job, do what you promise, and we are watching. Every bit. The manufacturing policies of him saying he's going to bring jobs back resonates very much so with not only Erie County, but the majority of this country.
In his crusade against outsourcing, Trump has already claimed 2 victories since his election. In November, the president-elect celebrated a deal with the Carrier Air Conditioning Company to keep 800 workers at a plant in Indianapolis, rather than shifting the jobs south of the border. And last week, car manufacturer Ford announced it canceled plans to build a $1.6 billion plant in Mexico. The company's CEO called the decision a vote of confidence in Trump's policies. But some analysts say applying pressure on companies and threatening economic repercussions might not be viable in the long run.
It could be counterproductive in the sense that businesses will begin to think that if they expand and grow here, they won't have the opportunity to move if they need to. They'll be browbeaten into staying, and that raises their cost of doing business. So I just don't think that's a winning long-term strategy.
With less than 2 weeks until Trump's inauguration, American companies in all industries, as well as the country's trading partners, are bracing themselves for what comes next.
All right, well, let's take a look now at other news, beginning with when a 300% pay rise is not enough. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has increased the minimum wage by 50% in an effort to fight off hyperinflation amid an economic crisis. A Venezuelan worker will now earn roughly $60 a month, while Reuters estimates that over the past 11 months, Maduro has raised a wage a total of 322%. The world's biggest maker of mobile devices is being questioned as part of an investigation into a political scandal sweeping South Korea. Lawmakers want to know if Samsung received political favors in return for donations to the foundations controlled by the president's friend. Samsung denies any wrongdoing. And China's CITIC Group and U.S. private equity house Carlyle have announced that they will take a controlling interest in McDonald's restaurant operations in China and Hong Kong, all for $2 billion. The 20-year-old franchise covers some 2,400 stores in Hong Kong and the mainland.
Finally then, let's have a quick look at the markets, Will.
Well, we saw Samsung up over 3% earlier, now about 2.8% after the company said Friday that its fourth quarter profit likely jumped 50% year on year. Asian markets now, though, at the moment in the green. The Kospi, though, South Korean index dipping just below the flat line in the past hour. Nikkei closed to a public holiday in Japan.
Thanks, Will. We'll Hildebrand there with the business on France 24.